Oh, they are coming out.
Who's on me?
Yo. Thank you. Yo, why you? Yo, Hasina, you're so dumb.
Bro, this is so fucking...
Just so messed up, bro. Pop and make it for me, bro.
One out. Two out. Three out. I'm dead soon.
I'm gonna shot from back.
Oh.
I gotta make it. Oh, no.
I didn't have any more ammo, bro.
Yo, he needs to focus it.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Nothing But Skills, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing the build that you saw in that clip. And a lot of you guys have asked me a while ago, you saw the MPX video that I put out a while ago, you're asking, hey, what build were you using? And the only difference between the build that you saw in those two clips and the build that you're going to see here is going to be the weapon, because I got a little bit better MPX, and I'll show you which one I got. So if you guys enjoy this video, don't forget to always leave a thumbs up. It helps out the videos and I appreciate it a lot. But let's dive right into the build itself. So we are running 13 offensive, 11 defensive. We are running almost 500k armor with 32,000 health. We only have skill power of 279 and skill power of 277 because of the drone and the seekers. So if we look at the build itself, we are going to be running a survivalist because we do want that med kit that works great with teammates. And then we do want the extra outgoing healing. And then we also want those seeker healer balls, right? So we do want that. There's a lot of things that we get from the survivalist that work great with this build. So that is what we are going to go with. Now you choose what specialization you want to go with. So for the weapon, we are running the apartment. That is the name MPX. So before in the clip, I was running the MPX, but this one with 222 less damage, but this one comes with perfectly measured. The difference between the two is the top half of the magazine, you only lose negative 10% weapon damage versus negative 15%. And the bottom half, you only lose negative 15% rate of fire versus negative 20. So that means you're going to hit harder and faster. So with this build, even though I am losing that 222 damage on this MPX, I'm going to gain it back once perfectly measured goes into play. So 23,000 damage on my regular MPX versus this one. They both have a Legro on there. Now, for my secondary, I am running the Eagle Bear for protective fire. Now, remember, you gain 10% bonus armor while firing your weapon. Now, if you're not going to run an assault drone, then I recommend running the Merciless because you want to be able to proc spark. So that's up to you. I'll let you decide that. For the pistol, protective reload. If you don't have it on your primary, then make sure you have it on your pistol. The way we do have this modded is we're going to run critical hit chance on the muzzle, the underbarrel, and then the sight. And then for the magazine, we're running the plus 20 round magazine. And then we are running the Boogeyman skin. That is one of the new skins you get from this apparel event. So if you're looking for this skin right here, a lot of you guys were asking me from this Silent Night apparel event. So let's break down the build. Now, you can see that I'm running a two-piece True Patriot. Honestly, I don't want the True Patriot on here because if I had the better rolls on my chest and my backpack, I wouldn't need to roll True Patriot for the 10%. I could get 500k armor without the True Patriot. But my rolls right now are really low and I'm still farming for better rolls. But as soon as I get those, these are going to go and I have a mask that I like running over this 100% of the time. So we have the True Patriot on here that's going to go as critical hit chance, hazard protection, and then I am running the offensive mod that's going to give us SMG damage and weapon damage. All the offensive mods on here should have SMG damage, weapon damage, armor damage, or whatever you want to do, but they should have SMG damage to improve your damage. For the chest, we are running the Gilligard, Heligard. How do you guys say it? Because some people are saying Gilligard, some people are saying Heligard. I don't know. I'm confused. Let me know. Anyway, so we have total armor on here. We have hazard protection and pulse skill power because we were running a three-piece Heligard. I'm going to say it like that for this video. We have total armor on here of 9%. This could be way better if I get one around 20%. And then I rolled a 43k armor roll on here. That's why my armor is up there. And then we have 6.5 weapon damage. Now I love running with Berserk. Some of you guys might go more defensive, more security with Bloodsucker, but Berserk works really good with this because once I lose about 40% of my armor, I'm hitting for 16% more, right? So that's only going to require 7 more offensive. I'm definitely hitting that, and that's why I like running with Berserk. But if you want to be a little bit more defensive based, then Bloodsucker is going to be a better fit for you. Now, the great thing about this Armadillo chest is that it's going to have 2 defensive and 1 offensive, which what we want. We don't want no utility on this build. So we're going to put armor, explosive resistance, total armor, an offensive system with SMG damage, weapon damage, and then another defensive system with armor, health, and total armor. But remember, guys, the chest is somewhere where you can change out that talent. You can always change Berserk for Bloodsucker because of the way this build is set up 1311. I can still put either or, but that is up to you. For the holster, we are running the True Patriot holster. Remember, True Patriot does give you 2 offensive. The only other holster right now that gives you 2 offensive is the Heliguard. So you could get 2 red rolls and you could get 2 offensive rolls on a Heliguard. For this one, we're running with a True Patriot for the extra 10% armor. But if I had better chest or better backpack rolls, we wouldn't need the 2-piece True Patriot, like I said. But we have critical hit damage on here where you want to get a really high critical damage and then roll that 16% critical hit chance. And then 2 offensive mods, SMG weapon damage, SMG weapon damage. That is how you want to go with this. You want to put a lot of critical hit chance and a lot of critical hit damage on this build. Now, since we do want to be protected from hazard protection, we're going to run insulated on the knee pads with a Heliguard. So this is our second piece of Heliguard. We already get 20% from the hazard protection. Then we get another 30% from insulated. And then we have 50% on the mask. So we're at 100%. Now, if you notice you're not running against a lot of status effect builds, you can take off the insulating and put something like capacitive. That's up to you. That really works really well. But if you're going to run against a lot of status effect builds, this is how you would kind of run this build right here. Now, if I didn't need to run the True Patriot mask, I could run a Hollow Man mask and get 400% right there. So for the gloves, this is exactly how you want to get it. It has 10% SMG damage. You want the Soakle off for your apartment, right? It's SMG. Then for the attributes, you want to at least get 1 critical hit chance roll and anything else it could be. So I went with the critical hit chance 3%. I rolled a 13% SMG damage on here, and then I have critical on here. I want to put critical on here because I'm already going to be maxed out at critical chance. Critical is going to give me that 15% critical hit damage. Now we do have a Heliguard backpack, and this one I crafted at the blueprint vendor at the base of operations. So if you're looking for a backpack, it does roll with the offensive mod. So we have armor on here. I roll total armor, and we have weapon damage, and then I have harden for that 15% armor. That's what you want. And then you want spark. Spark's going to require 9 or more offensive. We definitely hit that, but it's going to give us that 15% damage, and it's going to be triggered by our drone. That's why I said if you're not going to run an assault drone, you need to run the Merciless. So we get 2 mods. We get the offensive mod for SMG weapon damage, and then we get the defensive where we can put armor, total armor, and health. Now for the skills, we are running the Seeker Mind, which is going to heal us for the basic amount. We don't have anything unlocked besides the mods that come with the Survivalist. So remember, the Survivalist is going to give us skill haste and healing that we don't have to have anything to unlock. So our PvP healing at 14k, regular healing at 28,000. So it's just enough to keep us up with our build. And then the Striker Drone. The Striker Drone is going to be triggering Spark. So if you're not going to run the Striker Drone, you want to run something else, you need to run something that's going to trigger Spark. Skill damage or explosive damage will trigger it. So if we go into the stats, let's take a look at the stats of this build. So for the critical hit chance, we're almost maxed out at 55% critical hit chance, 50% critical hit damage. Now, if I could have a better critical hit damage roll on the holster, this would improve. And then if I could have a better critical hit chance roll on the gloves, that would improve. Headshot damage is at 50%. And then if we go down to the stats, we'll see that our all weapon damage is 16%. Our SMG damage is at 59%. And that's where we're getting a lot of our damage from. We take a look at our hazard protection. We're at 50% pulse resistance. Everybody has that as long as you unlock your specialization. And then we're at 104 hazard protection, which caps bleed, blind, burn, confuse, disrupt, shock, poison, all at 100%. So we're completely maxed out. That is great against those status effect builds. Now, if you remember, like I said, If you aren't going to be fighting a lot of status effect builds, then you could switch out this hazard protection for other roles, health, and so on. So my goal with this build would be to get rid of the True Patriot, and that way I could roll a different mask that I have, and then I could leave the bottom True Patriot, or I could put Healer Guard, and then if I'm not fighting a hazard protection build, I could take off the hazard protection and then put other stats in there that would help me out. Like I could have a health roll on the mask, give me a little bit more health. But with this meta, with 1.6, I noticed that having more armor, not really worrying about your health, is a lot better if you're going to stack damage. So since I'm stacking a lot of critical hit chance on this build, that's going to help me out in the long run versus sacrificing that critical hit chance or that critical hit damage for some health when someone else is just hitting that much harder. So having tankiness, being able to crit, hit high works great with this build. And the apartment, I'm glad I was able to pick one up. Hopefully you guys watched that video that I put out and you guys picked one up too. Let me know what you guys think about this build. If you guys have any questions, I appreciate the support. Leave a thumbs up as always. Until the next one, nothing but skills out.